Yo, what's up? My name's RetroPat. This is a weird video. This is a weird video because I haven't planned anything for it. I don't have a thumbnail. I don't have a title. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea how long it will be. I don't know anything about this video. All I know is that I really wanted to record this. This is a dumb little selfish video, I guess, because it's a project that you guys don't know anything about. You guys have no attachment to. You guys haven't heard of before, so why would you care? Why are you even watching this video? Honestly, I don't know, but I hope that you can appreciate just from seeing maybe the after project, like how neat it is to me, or maybe hear through my voice how neat it is to me. This is my giant dirt island in the sky. Let me turn that down a little bit. This is my giant dirt island in the sky. And I'll show you the grand scheme of things in a second here after I finally fill in these last few dirt holes. But this is something I've been working on for a very, 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 very long time. At least for me, Minecraft is my go-to game after work, after stream, to chill down to relax, and just to hang out, play some blocks, and sort of leave a meaningful impact. And as time passes, see more blocks be placed, see more things change, and see the world grow. And this is just I don't know how I got this idea, just a dumb little project that I wanted to do. I think it was a way for me to expand space because my main base was getting kind of full. So you know what? I was like, why not expand vertically? Why not go up towards the build limit and kind of test with that in a way that I've never really done before in Minecraft. So without further ado, here is the final block. Boom. My dirt island in the sky is complete. And I'm going to fly around a little bit. Well, first we'll run around a little bit. So actually, we'll fly first. We'll fly first, and then afterwards, I'll run around just to show you guys. Because it's hard to get the scale for such a flat project. There are buildings over here, as you can see. This is just the absolute start to the dirt island in the sky sort of city. And my plan has been to build like a bunch of little buildings. There's going to be like no mega builds on this. At least from what I've gleaned from my current plan. And I'm just building little buildings with all my viewers' names from Twitch chat and from YouTube comments. I'm trying to include as many people as possible, obviously. I even named this one actually after Poker Force, which is just a game, like kind of just after their community, after their staff. They do a great job. So there is the Poker Force garden, for example. Just little things. This is just how I spend my free time after stream. A lot of what I do is I just build stuff on Minecraft, play Minecraft survival. I do play on keep inventory and peaceful mode, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's a hardcore, like, most amazing world. But it's just honestly just what I like to do. You know, that's really what it comes down to. Is this is just enjoyable for me. I just sit here and I play a little bit of cozy Minecraft to wind down, watch movies with the wife on the couch in the afternoon. Not a bad way to pass the time. We have all these little buildings over here. We actually have the initial dirt island construction. So the city construction, I started building. It's funny. I started building this on April 10th, 2025. So I've been working on this for, I mean, honestly, less as long as I expected, but still pretty, like, it felt so long. Because I put a fair bit of time into it. I've been working on this for about, what is that? 50 days? Oh, almost, I think 50 days. It's May 29th as I'm finishing it. Let's go ahead and actually finish that date. May 29th. And we'll see the full scale here in a quick sec. Don't worry. I think once we're also, like, we're just really high up. That's the other thing. It's really hard to appreciate how high up this is and how big it is without seeing the scale of other things or other projects. It's going to take me a little bit of time, but if you'll give me a little bit of time, I'll show you everything that's been done up here so far. And it's honestly not much. A little bit of a base system, just random blocks for building all the different houses. I need more ideas. If you guys have ideas or suggestions on stuff for the houses, please let me know. Or if you want a house named after you, leave a comment. Maybe I'll get to you, but no promises. I've just been using like 4 to 6 shelters of dirt. As you can see, like, these 2 shelters are still full of dirt. This took so many dirt trips and so much dirt mined. I'll actually show you the area where I mined all the dirt so you can see, like, where all the dirt was gathered from, where it was excavated, and then how it was all transported over here. I purposefully placed half of the dirt island in like a different biome. So part of it's like in the snowy biome over here. What's it called? The snowy plains, I guess, is what that is. And then over here is the plains. And it might even go over into another biome. But I planted these trees, obviously. Like these trees don't spawn naturally up here. So I had to purposefully plant some trees. I had to bone meal some grass over there. I built out this entire dirt platform. I did a little mossy forest area over here, and I try to put dates. Something I try to do on my my forever world from this point forward. I've been playing on this world for, I want to say, a year and a half or 2 years, maybe 2.5, somewhere between a year and a half to 2.5 years. I even did this where I like talked about when I got the Archer achievement, for example. I try to like put a date on everything. I think it's cute to see the dates. This is also a bridge system where I've been building a bridge every time I upload a new episode on my Iron Man series on PokeMMO, which is really cool to see the different different bridge builds over time, and to eventually see there's very they're quote unquote bridges, right? Very little small things, but there'll be a lot of small things. But I'm gonna run around for a sec on the dirt while I just sort of take it all in, number one, and use this as an excuse to talk about one of my favorite dumb little things to talk about, which is categorical desires, which is essentially just a pretentious or a fancy word that philosophers use to say hobbies, interests, reasons for living is really I guess the best way to describe it. There's something called I'm a layman, right? But in the philosophy field, there's something called categorical desires, which are essentially desires which give us meaning for life. The reason we wake up in the morning, the reason we go to bed at night, the reason we take care of ourselves, the reason why it's worth fighting through this life, which is so hard. And it sounds silly sometimes. And I think it's important to remind people that it's not silly. Whatever your categorical desire is what it is. And it's a big mission of my life and a big quest of my life to just constantly encourage people. I don't care if your categorical desire is basket weaving. I don't care if it's making a dirt landscape on Minecraft. I don't care if it's playing Peggle in the year 2025. I don't care if it's a lot of people socializing, spending time with friends. I run into a lot of young people who are like, I don't know what to do in life. Like I'm not really pulled towards any direction. But in reality, they're actually like really good at socializing and have really good social skills. And that's the thing that they enjoy. But you're not really taught growing up that socializing is a hobby or a skill. And it's one you need to like moderate some, because obviously you don't want to have like codependency, but it's good to have solo and multiplayer, for lack of a better word. It's good to have a single player world and a multiplayer world. Yes, no. It's good to have a single solo desires and desires that involve other people. If you have too many of one or the other, it's obviously, life's about a balance. Ha ha ha, very basic. Lighting up the place for the nighttime. But this took so long. I'll go into my stats and actually show how much dirt I placed / mined, because it was a lot. But before I gave it a weird shape. I wanted it to purposefully be like a weird shape. The first thing I did was draw the outline of the island. The very first thing I did was just randomly place dirt in a giant emptyless random shape. But let's head over to where I actually got the dirt from. Here's my main area / base in this world. I do want to do, sorry for the little bit of lag, I do want to do a full like world tour of this world at some point, because I don't know, I think it's kind of neat. I think it's become kind of cool. It has some neat builds. I have a long way to go. I feel like this area is honestly not as filled out as it may seem. Here's some. So here's like a little shitty football field that I want to work on at some point. But I actually started landscaping this area, and I took out a bunch of dirt from over here. Like I do like how the terraforming the land leaves these little like dirt barriers. I think that is my favorite part. And I do want to do something with this area. This I only started on very recently. Like I've barely touched this area. The real thing that took me so long, that I spent so much, I mined all of the dirt from this whole island. This entire island is just hooked. Obviously you can see You know, maybe there's like a little bit of, to be fair, let's go ahead and, actually, that's why. I was like, I'm pretty sure there might be a reason why I didn't grab that, and there you go. Let's just fill that off, actually. There we go. Make it a little bit. There we go. There's a reason why I didn't grab that, but there we go. So I think I've literally mined every little piece of dirt that was mineable over in this area. Get back in the sky. Yeah, so this took a while of mining all this dirt and then putting it into shelters. And then I ran out of dirt. I ran out of that entire island, so I had to move over here. And I honestly took more out of here than I realized. A lot of watching movies and mining dirt. And here, once you're like over in the main base-ish area, and you can look up at the dirt island, that's where you really get extra perspective as well. Go up to like here maybe, like a little bit of a viewing ground. I kind of blocked off my viewing ground to some extent by building this giant shitty tree. I need to fill in this tree. If you have any suggestions or any ideas, let me know. I am the 100% the Minecraft, the guilty Minecraft builder of, I need to get more lightning rods because lightning actually strikes these and burns them. I am 1000% that guilty Minecraft builder who never builds insides. I just build giant dumb structures that don't really have a purpose. Is other huge, like people always say, I see a lot of like comments online, oh, like how do Minecrafters brains when you try to build a structure without a purpose. I think most of my structures don't have purposes. Like this big upside down granite pyramid. I guess that goes into the categorical desires point of like, you're always told growing up, you know, video games are pointless or X thing, you know, a lot of things are, unless you're making money, unless you're progressing your career, unless you're getting a wife, you know, yada, 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 everything else is pointless. And it's really quite, I don't want to say quite the opposite. That's not really true, but I get what those people were pointing at. Those people were trying to point at the fact that your categorical desires are the most important thing and everything else is pointless at the end of the day aside from that. And that is true. And for a very long time, the average, and still to this day, the average person's categorical desires is to get a nice job, have kids, you know, raise a family. There's a really human satisfaction in that lifestyle, obviously, which is really beautiful and really common still, and it makes total sense. However, not everybody has that drive. I myself, I'm happily married. I love my wife. I was really lucky enough to meet my fucking soulmate at a very young age, around 22, got married around 26. But we have no desire for kids. That's not something it's not a desire for us. It's not an innate, you know, trait for us. We feel it to some extent, but not enough to want to engage in that endeavor in an irresponsible manner, right? So instead, you do other things. You do things that bring you joy. You know, why does a chef need to cook, right? Why does a doctor need to heal, right? And you can look at these things. I always get into arguments about this. You can look at things like being a doctor or being a chef as more objectively beneficial to society than being a Minecraft builder, right? Or being not that also being a Minecraft builder is like not a big categorical desire of mine. It's like very, very minimal. Once again, this is like my go-to relaxed activity after work. But anyways, the point is, I feel like obviously when it's speaking towards society versus speaking towards yourself. And then there's two different objectives there, right? For personal happiness, as long as your desires aren't hurting others, it's really important that you pursue them or else you'll never be happy, right? No matter what they are, no matter if it's making glass IRL, no matter if it's knitting, crocheting, whether it's staring at the sun, maybe you like love staring at the sun, okay? There's an argument there where like, okay, that's kind of hurting yourself, so be careful. But this goes into like the football thing where like a lot of people always talk about like, oh, people shouldn't be able to play football, it's so dangerous, or I would never let my kid play football. And I'm not a parent, so this does come from a place of ignorance. So excuse that or take it with a grain of salt. If my kid was like, I really want to play football, it's like, it looks so fun. Like, it could be their categorical desire. I couldn't live with myself if I denied them of that. Even if, you know, UFC, skydiving. Now, I don't have a kid. I can only imagine the fear and the stress that it would put me under and the emotional attachment that I would have and how, like, fucking petrifying that would be. I understand, but it's really important. And I don't know. I'm just a big person where in terms of, it's so important to pursue your desires. It's so important to pursue your categorical desires because Otherwise, there's no reason to living, right? There's no point to live. There's no reason to wake up. There's no reason to see the moon, to see the sun, if you aren't following your passions, following your categorical desires, and doing what you are drawn to. I think a lot of categorical desires are very, very, very intuitive, and we really are drawn to them. We don't really choose them, right? We don't really choose them. They kind of choose us. And it's important to, I guess, just let that happen and be okay with that, as long as you're not hurting your others or yourself, of course, to a reasonable degree. I'm sure there's different degrees of categorical desires. Let's say football is at a 1 out of 10 for you in terms of like passion. Maybe you don't need to risk the concussions of the CTE to, I get it. There's definitely layers to it, but at the end of the day, I feel like pursuing what gives your life meaning is obviously just the most important thing. This is all very basic stuff, but there is some extra verbiage to it. I hope that videos like this, it's an extra little reminder, right? I hope that this video is an extra little reminder to pursue what you really want to unashamedly, and just enjoy your life. And don't let others tell you that you need to be doing things. As long as you're taking, self-sustainability is nice. As long as you're taking care of yourself, as long as you're paying your own bills, showering, mental health, physical health, take care of yourself. But pursue your desires as well. It's really important to find that balance. And just make sure you're not forgetting things or putting things by the wayside that aren't seen as efficient. I feel like we're getting, that's a whole different video, to be fair, but like over efficiencyed in the world, where like everybody's working like 3 jobs, everybody's on their Sigma grind set, and there's some really beautiful positives to that, to be fair, but there's also a lot of negatives that I feel like people are gonna witness and notice within like 10 years, as opposed to right when they're signing up for Uber, or signing up for DoorDash, which seem like amazing self-employed jobs. I'm not trying to demean those jobs. It's more of like a hey, do you really need to work the extra 10 hours or 20 hours to make the extra money? Is the extra money going to make you happy? Or are you just doing it because you feel so much pressure, right? And obviously, once again, layers and layers and layers of nuance. If you're listening to me charitably, hopefully you understand I'm not talking to that single parent who's working 3 jobs because they literally just have to make the food on the table for their kid. Obviously, more power to you, and I wish you the best of luck and much love to you. I've been there. I totally get it. I'm not talking to you, right? So let's make it really, really clear, right? But I like to over clarify, or hopefully make things as clear as possible so people get the message as clearly as possible. But just a quick little video, quick little reminder to pursue what you love, do what you love, pursue your categorical desires. I always trip up saying that word. And yeah, you know what? For me, over the past month or so, one of my categorical desires was to build a giant dirt island in the sky. And I think that's okay. I think that's fun. I think it's beautiful. I did it while spending quality time with my wife, and I'm proud of that. I'm happy with that. And you know what? Maybe I'll do it again someday. But anyways, I'm going to keep lighting this up, walking around, doing little dumb things in Minecraft. If you want to see more, like the video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Peace, Reno.